Religion in our ever-changing world. From the News Channel 5 network, this is Issues of Faith.
Hello everyone, welcome to Issues of Faith. We are talking today about God's call to help the hurting and the homeless. And we have with us the new CEO of the Nashville Rescue Mission, Glenn Cranfield. We want to thank you very much for being with us.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
And when I say new, we're talking really new. I mean, as we sit here today, you've been on the job less than 2 weeks.
That's right. I think today is day 11, so brand new here at Nashville. I'm loving Nashville, love the community, and just excited to be here.
Well, I want to use this opportunity to get to know you a little bit. You know, what has brought you, how do you feel called into this line of work? What's your background? But yeah, where is it from which you come? Where were you before this, and how did you get into this?
Well, I come to Nashville from Oklahoma City, and the story is really great. I was raised in a pastor's home, so grown up in church all my life, and then I followed that route to be a pastor, and was actually an associate pastor in Oklahoma City. And we had an individual in our church that said, we need someone to come downtown and to do an evangelistic service at the Rescue Mission. At that time, I really didn't know a whole lot about rescue missions, and so because of who it was, I agreed to go, and I went down to this place in the inner city of Oklahoma City, and I walked in and prepared, and then the back door opened, and all the men, women, and children filed into the chapel area. And then my heart broke because I saw the devastation, I saw the hurting, I looked into the eyes, and I saw the hopelessness. And I just ached for them, and so began to encourage them and to teach them and preach to them the good news, the hope in a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I went back and talked to my pastor, and I said I would really, really like to become more involved. And he said, you can do that, and we want to encourage you to do that. And so then I began to do that on a weekly basis, and then it turned into a daily basis, and eventually I started out as a volunteer, and then I became a member of the board of directors, and the executive director left. They asked me to step in and fill in, and I really felt that God had called me into that ministry. And just the opportunity to see lives touched and see lives changed and to see a city come together on behalf of the needs of the hurting and the homeless, and to really pull their resources together and their talents and their skills, volunteer efforts, and really affect the lives of those that are most destitute among us. I really enjoyed that.
So how long were you there?
I was there at City Rescue Mission on staff as the director for 10 years. Total involvement for about 15 years, but I was the president and CEO for 10 years in Oklahoma City.
And how did you decide, why did you decide to come to Nashville?
Well, in that I left there and was pastoring a church, and then I really felt the church was doing great, but I really missed the ministry to the homeless and the hurting, and I really did. And I after a long time of prayer and with my wife and family, we decided that that's really what God would have us to do. And so then I began to search for that opportunity where God would lead me to go back into that ministry, and then I'm here at Nashville Rescue Mission, and so excited to be here.
Do you think the issues are pretty much the same at Oklahoma City and at Nashville? I mean, from one rescue mission to another, are they, generally the same, or are they vastly different? What about that?
It's a great question, Ben. They really are the same. There's little things that each community in each metropolitan area has that are different, but the needs are the same. We're still dealing with substance abuse. We're dealing with lack of usable job skills. We're dealing, of course, with the economy and the situation that it's in. But one of the predominant issues across America as it deals with homelessness is mental health issues and mental illness. And a full 40% of the clients that we serve in Oklahoma City are dealing with mental health issues. And that's something that we see all across the rescue mission world. And to be able to help them and to be able to encourage them and to work with other partners to be able to get them the medications that they need and to be able to sustain independent living is a tremendous task. And we see that, though the communities are different, maybe little nuances here, but that is a widespread problem that we have all across America.
When I hear that, that's overwhelming, 40%. And I've done stories about how the number of beds in mental health facilities have gone down. They go down year after year. And it's almost discouraging. I mean, what can be done? Are you at the mission just kind of patching things up, or is there more of a long-term solution?
Well, there are some long-term solutions, and that's one of the reasons why at Nashville Rescue Mission I'm so excited to be here. They do have a component of mental health collaboration, and so there are the clients that come in that are really struggling with those issues and those help. There are professionals there that's their giftedness and that's their specialized interest, and they're able to work with them and to deal with them and help them make sure that they're getting the medications that they need and direct them to the right resources. And so there is hope in those areas. And so I would encourage, rescue missions all across the country to really open up an area of avenue for mental health help and partner with those agencies that's their specialty, because we need to work together because it is such a predominant problem in homelessness.
What do you think the challenges are? I mean, you've been on the job not that long, but certainly you've looked at this facility before taking the job. What are the major challenges facing the Nashville Rescue Mission?
Well, I think, again, it's a widespread challenge. Is, the rescue missions a lot of people think that it's just sustaining homelessness, sustaining dependence upon a system, if you will, just sheltering them and giving them food. But the challenge is the recovery. To take a person from total dependence upon a shelter, total dependence upon all kinds of other sustainable government funding and so forth, and to lead them through that and lead them through their addiction to a place where they can be independent. And that's one of the things about Nashville Rescue Mission that's exciting, and at City Rescue Mission Oklahoma City and other great organizations like that across the country, is that we don't want to just feed and clothe and shelter. That's great, and we're doing that in an emergency situation. But our heart's desire is to take you from that situation and help you with your addiction and job skills, and to leave with an independent place to live and a job, and remain then freely independent living. So that's the challenge, is not to just what some people would say warehouse the homeless, but the job is to move them into productive living. And so that's the exciting part.
What's your sense of the community support here in Nashville? I mean, I know there are a lot of people who go out to any mission on say, Thanksgiving.
Right.
It gets a lot of publicity on those certain times a year. But what about on a given day in March? And just, what is the community support, your sense of it here in Nashville? Well,
my sense, and again, 10, 11 days on the job, but my sense is that it's a wonderfully supported ministry here in Nashville. And I've seen different reports and so forth that say that Nashville recognizes, the community recognizes the importance of a ministry like Nashville Rescue Mission and supports it very, very well. And that's really promising, and that's really exciting to understand that we're partners together, that the Nashville Rescue Mission wants to partner with the city officials, wants to partner with the communities, wants to partner with the individuals and the churches and the corporations and businesses, and say, working together, holding hands together, we can really make a difference in the lives of those that are hurting among us. So it's encouraging.
And it's important to point out, funding-wise, you're not getting money from Metro government. It's all private funding, is that right? I mean, there's no public support.
That's correct. Some places, you want to see your tax dollars at work, but this is not a place where that is. This is all privately supported. So people can understand that we don't rely upon any government benefits at all. We don't rely on any government funding at all, local, state, or national, federal. We rely on the generosity of the donors, individuals, churches, corporations, businesses, and foundations that say, we believe in what you're doing and we want to join with you to help you do that. So that's how we're funded.
And these have been tough times for many nonprofits, for many organizations, for many charitable organizations. Again, being new on the job, but what is your sense of how financially things are going? I mean, again, it's been tough for people to raise money. Are you all doing okay?
We are. It has been tough, and we have a concentrated effort in our development department and fundraising efforts and responsibility in our budgeting department to understand that these are tough times and difficult times. So we want to be very frugal with our resources and at the same time accomplish the needs that we need to accomplish. And so, there is the part of rescue missions that are certainly nonprofits, and there seems to be across in nonprofit world maybe an understanding that they don't operate with budget practices or good fiscal practice. successes, but I can guarantee that Nashville Rescue Mission does is very impressive on how sound they are financially and budget-wise to work within the realm of what has been given and donated, and very responsible in that area. So yes, the economy has taken a dive for us, but we want to be responsible with the resources that God has allowed us to have to accomplish the good. So,
and as you come in, what's your vision? Dazzle us with some vision of the rescue mission 5, 10 years from now. I mean,
well,
what do you see? What's your vision?
Well, what I really want, I mean, initially, is that to me, Nashville Rescue Mission is poised. The community of Nashville is poised to be a model rescue mission, a model nonprofit, not just in Nashville area, but across the United States. And just a small goal of mine is to be the top rescue mission in the United States, and to be a teaching model so that others can come in and bring their staff and bring their agencies in and become a teaching model for how we treat the poor, how we deal with our budget, how we deal with our finances, how our board develops, and so on and so forth. And so that we can take what we have learned and take the giftedness that God has given us and, in effect, replicate ourselves through knowledge all across the United States. So that's just a small thing.
And when you say top rescue mission, how is that quantified?
You know, I guess the quantification of that is just really in our own minds, but there's not an award, there's not a status or anything that comes with that. But know that we're doing the very best that we can do. The very best that we can do with the resources, with the talents, with the giftedness, with the clients, and with the guests that God has brought our way. And we want to raise the bar of excellence in every area so that we can really be one of the top rescue missions in the United States.
Well, Glenn Cranfield, welcome to Nashville.
Great.
Thanks for talking with us. Now, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk to some people who have benefited from the rescue mission, also a staff member, get some of the numbers and that kind of thing. But we'll take a break, come back, continue our discussion right after this.